every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me, ooh. I didn't really have an opening planned, I just really wanted to sing that song. Beatles for the win! I'm Finn the Pony, and it's time for Fidmits. So, Every Little Thing She Does, an episode where Starlight finally returns to her friendship lessons, but in an effort to make up for lost time, Twilight's castle turns into a madhouse of friendly chaos. Is this episode a worthwhile lesson that every viewer will be willing to learn? Let's find out. I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone that Starlight has had her fair share of issues when it comes to Twilight's friendship lessons. Most of her attempts at friendship this season have either involved her using magic as an easy fix for something, or just avoiding the lesson altogether. And while this has led to some good character interactions and bits of comedy, we've never gotten a chance to dive into her psyche and see exactly why she has such a friendship phobia. Well, it's finally time for an episode to tackle such a topic, and it does so with mind control of all things. That's unexpected, but also intriguing, much like the episode itself. We're shown right from the beginning that Twilight has not only been training Starlight in the ways of friendship, but in the ways of magic as well, complete with lessons on Equestria-wide teleportation, magical shields, and creating sentient life out of fruit. Kind of a role reversal of another spell Twilight cast in the past. It was nice to see that Twilight's not just a one-trick pony when it comes to teaching Starlight. They've both studied magic for years, and as shown, they make ideal spellcasting partners, giving each other a chance to test their magical skills alongside a worthwhile opponent. But the really interesting conflict comes when Starlight reveals the truth. She's been shirking her friendship lessons behind Twilight's back. So to make up for lost time, she decides to cram 5 lessons into one day. And having been a student for as long as I can remember, I can assure you that this never works. No matter what strategy you use, it always ends in disaster. And even with magic on her side, Starlight eventually meets a similar fate. Granted, on a much more extreme level. First off, let's look at one of the most standout aspects of this episode. The mind control. Mind control is a pretty scary concept when you get right down to it. Enslaving someone's mind and forcing them to do your bidding is something I never would have expected one of our protagonists to resort to. But it's obvious that Starlight simply did this out of desperation. And considering that magic has been one of her crutches ever since she started learning about friendship, it's understandable that she'd rely on it in times of crisis. And hey, her friends only wind up with a magical hangover by the end, so I guess no major harm was done. Plus, I gotta say that the scenes where their minds are melded are easily the comedic highlights of this episode. It's that type of humor where the main character orders another character to do something, but they're not specific enough, so the other character does the task completely wrong. It's old, it's been done, but it's still funny to watch, and seeing the madness just build and build during the episode with every small mistake was just hilarious. And by the end, we're given the moral that explains exactly what the friendship lessons are supposed to be about. Starlight was worried this whole time because she feared the possibility of messing up the activities involved in the lessons, such as baking, sewing, or scrapbooking. But the point of finishing the lessons was not to do the activities perfectly, but to grow closer to the pony she was meant to do the activity with. Starlight's mindset was to simply get everything done by any means necessary, even if she wasn't there to help. And in the words of Spike, she completely missed the point. There's no such thing as a perfect friend, and Starlight finally realizes that her friends will accept her no matter what she manages to screw up, even if it involves something as insane as flooding an entire castle. I guess my only gripe is that it is kind of a predictable story. I mean, the second we see Starlight combine 2 spells that have never been combined before, it's pretty obvious that things are going to go downhill eventually. But the specifics of how things fall apart are what keeps the story afloat, in both an entertaining and engaging fashion. Every Little Thing She Does certainly does a lot of things well. Its entertainment is bountiful, its moral is well woven in, and its story, for the most part, does its job perfectly. Does it reach the caliber of the Starlight Trixie Power Half Hour? No, but is it a welcome Season 6 Starlight story? Absolutely. With the season nearing its end, I'm glad they were able to squeeze at least one more Starlight-centric episode into the mix. But who knows, maybe she'll play a big part in the season finale as well. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so awesome! Well, I hope y'all enjoyed my quick little playthrough of this episode, and feel free to tell me what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Did this Starlight friendship lesson teach you as much as it entertained you? Which of Starlight's 5 friendship lessons would you be the most excited to do? Personally, I'd probably either go for baking with Pinky or scrapbooking with AJ. Pinky's always full of energy and would be a ton of fun to work with, and AJ's got a rich family history that I'd love to learn more about. In fact, wouldn't it be good if we got an episode of AJ just flipping through a scrapbook, and every photo she decided to look at leads to a mini Apple family story a la Cutie Mark Chronicles? I would watch the heck out of that. Thanks for playing along with me. I'm Finn the Pony, and I'll see you all next time on Finbits.
After all, it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. What?